I don't get personal uh, very often here on our daily Live for Fives. And here we are, episode 84. We've been doing this for 84 straight days. And it is our daily Live for Five. And I know people would like me to get a little bit more personal, but there is so much fact, so many factual issues to talk about and to share, and reports and figures and things like that related to challenges that we feel as a whole and the solutions that I want to bring. And I'm always wanting to convey that to you so you get a sense of how deep in the weeds I am willing to get and how hard I want to work as your MLA to bring those solutions to Saint Croix. But today, of course, is the first day of school. And I got to get personal because I'm feeling personal today. Got the feeling right here in the chest. First of all, immense gratitude to teachers. And I do want to talk a little bit about that. And over the next couple of days, few days, got to keep it to 5 minutes every time. I want to take you on a bit of a journey as to why I feel that our public education system, our K to 12 in particular, is under attack by this government. And if that sounds a little bit overstated, I understand that. So hang with me. Unsupported at best and under attack at worst. And yes, I do have black and white quotes to support that. But just going back a little bit, when I moved here in 2018, we happily enrolled our kids. Actually, my daughter was the only one who was old enough to go to school. We enrolled our son in Miss Rosie's preschool program. So our daughter went off to grade 2. As you know, we moved here in late August, so couldn't wait to bring her to school. It was absolutely fantastic. The teachers are great. St. Stephen Elementary School was wonderful. The pandemic hit, of course, in 2019. Schools stopped. That was quite a shock for a family that was new to the community. And of course, I started to homeschool the kids. I have a business that allows me to work from home a lot of the time. And for the first year, I homeschooled 6 kids out of my home with another parent. I have an education background, and so it was great. I really enjoyed it. They were, in the lower grades, so I could handle the subject matter. And then the next year, I continued with 4 of the 6 kids. And the year after that, I continued with just my kids. And last year, it was time for my daughter to go to middle school. She was eligible for grade 6. And so I just knew that grade 6, the middle school, could offer her so much more exposure to people and to experiences that I could never provide here at home. And so I sent her off to middle school last year, and she had a wonderful year. She loved her teachers, and I got a firsthand look at how amazing and supportive and how blessed we are here in St. Stephen to have great schools. Now, of course, talking to teachers who we love, and I'm knocking on doors, we hear about how they do feel like they are stretched to the max. And that largely influenced my decision to continue with my own kids homeschooling, but then just my son. But today, again, that sense that the people, the experiences, there's so much more that school can offer him. It is time to bring him back to school. And so today for grade 5, we brought my son to St. Stephen Elementary, and he had a wonderful day. And his teachers are incredible. And I can shout out teachers like Tara Scott, who last week just voluntarily, through friendship, decided to invite us into the school. She gave him a tour, made sure he felt comfortable. Our teachers are amazing people. And that is why I believe, as a father who has kids in the public school system, I want it to be the very best it can be. And I don't want teachers to feel strained and burnt out and taken advantage of and unsupported and under-resourced. And yet, when I knock on doors and I meet teachers and I talk to friends who are teachers, That is how they feel, but it does not stop how dedicated they are to the parents and to the students that they serve. I was always amazed last year whenever I sent a text to my daughter's teachers, how they would reply through the app so supportively, get on the phone. It really did blow my mind. Again, having my own business and always approaching things from a customer service perspective, it was incredible to me how teachers uh, do far better than some businesses in terms of serving their quote customers, the people, the students, and the parents they serve. And that is why I'm already over time, and that was just a preamble for why I want to lay out over the next couple of days. Like I said, just a case of how um, our government and our MLAs need to be bolstering our teachers and encouraging everyone in the education system, from the assistants and the EAs, any early childhood educator. We need to support and help them. In 2019, uh, Premier Higgs made a statement about how our education system is a disaster. And so I went back to look at that quote because Green MLA and education critic Megan Mitton, and I've got a slide here on the screen. This is from 2019. This is pre-pandemic. So imagine the premier of the province, the one who is supposed to have their finger on the pulse of the needs of their community. And that's what I want to do as your MLA. Just making a statement publicly that the education system is a disaster. Now, if that were true, here we are 5 years later. Has that government, especially since they've got a majority, cleaned up what they perceive to be a disaster? Or are we still in the same situation? Megan Mitton took issue with how that was said. And this is from the Green Caucus website. Green education critic and MLA for Memram Cook Tantramar, Megan Mitton, says that Premier Higgs' alarmist claims that New Brunswick's education system is a disaster are unfair to the educators and students in both school systems. The Premier's statement about our education system being a disaster is insulting to educators and students, she said. If there is a disaster in our school systems, it's the lack of resources available for educators to do their jobs. And I'll close with her statement here. I've been hearing from teachers and principals that we have children going to school hungry. Again, my wife is in community development, her rides on health. She would corroborate that. That is still true in 2024. Again, one of the reasons why I'm running. We have a mental health crisis in our schools. Still true 5 years later. We have inclusive classrooms that do not have enough resources to support the needs of all the children. Still true 5 years later. Yet, according to many of the presenters at this summit, New Brunswick education systems are still among the best in the world. Imagine how much better they could be if we took the issues of poverty and health seriously. So I want to leave it there because I've gone way over time. But our teachers cannot get enough support and enough praise. And I agree with Megan. It is not a disaster, but we need to take a look at how 5 years later, the problems that she describes persist. That is why it is time for a change. And tomorrow, I'm going to talk to you about the New Brunswick Teachers Association and their political survey that they've asked all the political parties to respond to, and their long-term plan with 11 points and how we can continue to support and educate, continue to support our educators, because our teachers simply are incredible. And I am happy to have my kids in this public education system, but we need to continue to give it everything it needs. So join me tomorrow for more detail on that.